Hello, welcome to the video. So today, as the title would suggest, I have a bit of a haul for you as well as a little mini unboxing because I have a Book of the Month subscription and I never open them. So without further ado, let's get started. So a couple months ago, I had said that I was planning on doing some more hauls on this channel, but I'm not a huge buyer of books. I don't necessarily care about special editions. I don't feel the need to own every single book I've ever read. I do a lot of reading from the library, so I just don't normally buy a lot of books. But for whatever reason, the past few months, I have been buying a decent amount of books. It's still not like crazy. It's not like a 25 book haul or anything. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 books to talk about today. And so it's not crazy, but for me, that's a lot of books. I've just bought a lot of books since the beginning of the year. Some of them I have already hauled. These are the remaining ones. I don't know why I'm gesturing them to them like you can see them because you definitely can't right now. I don't know, for whatever reason, I've just been buying a lot of books this year. Maybe I need a little bit of an extra dopamine hit. Also, I have not read any of these books yet, so I'm not gonna have like a ton of stuff to tell you about them. I'm pretty much just gonna do show and tell, like, hey, I bought this. And I'm gonna show them to you in the order that I bought them. When I bought them is not necessarily that important, and it's in my reading journal somewhere, but whatever. So the first one is Story of My Life by Lucy Score. This, I will admit, was bought based on looks. I just think these edges are so cute. I don't know if it's focusing on that, but I think it's adorable. It's like little flowers and like papers blowing in the wind. This is now the 3rd Lucy Score that I own, and I have not read any of them. So I really need to stop buying Lucy Score books until I actually know if I like Lucy Score. But this one says, she's got trouble written all over her. What's more inspiring to a rom-com author than a hot, grumpy contractor literally knocking down walls? Hazel Hart is a thriving romance novelist until a breakup drives her straight into writer's block. Desperate for inspiration, Hazel impulse buys a historic home online and flees Manhattan to tiny Story Lake, Pennsylvania. Upon her dramatic arrival involving an incident with a bald eagle, she discovers the charm of her new home may have been slightly exaggerated. But Hazel doesn't care. Not since a 6'3" of grouchy contractor Campbell Bishop slapped a bandage on her forehead and unintentionally inspired the heck out of her. There's only one thing to do. Hire Cam and his equally gorgeous brothers to renovate her new spider museum, house. Cam wants to say no. Hazel's got trouble written all over her, but if his family business is going to stay afloat, they need a job. Besides, he's certain Hazel won't last a month in rural Pennsylvania. But before she knows it, she's writing a romance novel and living one, at least until she has to save the town, and Cam remembers exactly why he doesn't do relationships. It sounds cute. I just have never read anything by Lucy Score, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. It sounds cute. The book is cute. We're gonna give it a try eventually. Okay, next I took a trip to Barnes & Noble at one point and I got 2 books there. The first is on my TBR for May. That is Valor. It is the 2nd book in the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. The first book is Malice. I am currently reading this. Well, let's say I currently have intentions of reading this, but I haven't actually started it. I put a bookmark in it with the best of intentions to read it, if you know what I mean. The Faithful and the Fallen is a Norse-inspired fantasy. It involves dragons and giants and good versus evil. It's a good time. I gave Malice 5 stars, and I am very excited to jump into Valor, hopefully now that I have a physical copy and it's like staring me in the face every day, I will actually read it and continue the series because I do really like it. And the next was a cover buy as well as just kind of an author buy. I hadn't heard anything about it, but I do love T. Kingfisher. So I got Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, and this cover, I love it. It's very like whimsical and cute. And then it says, love is a double-edged sword. And then on the back it says, Sarkis knew that the kiss was a mistake the moment he did it. He kept doing it anyway. At first because stopping the kiss so quickly offended his sense of craftsmanship, and then because it felt too good to stop. I love T. Kingfisher's writing. I know it's not for everyone. very pretty. Foil little sword. I know it's not for everyone. Some people think it's too whimsical, too fairy tale-esque, but I love it. And I've only read 2 books by T. Kingfisher so far. I have a third kind of hanging out down here. And they've all been short, so I was very excited to see like a longer book by the author, and I'm very excited to read it. It still seems a little like it is based on a fairy tale, maybe. I'm not sure what it would be based on, but it says, from New York Times bestselling author T. Kingfisher comes a delightful fantasy romance between a widowed housekeeper and her unlikely sworn protector. It sounds cute. It sounds fairy tale-esque, but I don't know if it's actually based on a fairy tale or not. I'm just really excited about it. It sounds so cute. The next one I got on release day, I believe, and I'm excited to get to it, but I also already have a book by this author that I haven't read yet, so we'll see when I actually get to this. And I've heard kind of mixed reviews, I feel like, so we'll see how it goes. But I have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Beach Read is one of my favorite books of all time. I loved Book Lovers. Funny Story, probably also one of my favorite books of all time. I have not read Happy Place. I own it. It's on the shelf over here. I have not read it. And People We Meet on Vacation, I have not read because it just didn't seem like a synopsis that was interesting to me. But after I read Happy Place, if I like that, I might go back and read People We Meet on Vacation, just because, you know, I feel like I have to read everything that she's written in the adult contemporary romance genre. I do hate this, the permanent stickers, book club stickers, but I also don't know anything about this. I didn't even read the synopsis. I just know Emily Henry is an auto-buy author for me at this point, so I didn't need to read a synopsis before I bought this book. So let's see what it's about together, shall we? She was the stuff of legend. Alice Scotton is an eternal optimist still dreaming of her big writing break. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud, and they're both on balmy Little Crescent Island for the same reason, to write the biography of the woman no one has seen in years, or at least to meet with the octogenarian who claims to be the Margaret Ives. Tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. Again, I feel like I've heard kind of mixed things about this one, but I will read anything Emily Henry writes at this point. So, like I said, I'll probably go back and read People We Meet on Vacation too, eventually. But yeah, so, well, can I say that I will read anything she writes, because she has 3 books out now that I have not read? I will buy anything that Emily Henry writes. Okay, next was a quick Amazon purchase. I have been trying to not really shop as much on Amazon, or just in general from like big corporations, just because we're all allowed to spend our money with who we want, and right at this very moment I would like to spend mine with small businesses. Sometimes Canadian small businesses. But I did buy this book from Amazon because it was the easiest way to get it, and that is The Sword of Kigan. If you have been around my channel for any length of time, you may know that Blood Over Brighthaven is, again, one of my favorite books of all time. It was definitely my favorite book of... Did I read it last year or the year before? I think I read it last year. Whatever year I read it, it was my favorite book of that year. I tell everyone to read it. I very gently try to peer pressure people into reading this book. Anytime I see Blood Over Brighthaven in someone's thumbnail, you bet your bottom that I will be in their comment section like, you need to read it, please read it, it's so good. I love that book. I love everything about that book. And this is the only other book that is currently out by ML Wong, so I want to read it, so I bought it. I wanted to read it, I wanted to own it, so here it is, I bought it. I don't, again, there's a theme here. I don't really know that much about this book, but it's really just because I love ML Wong's writing and storytelling, so I'm looking forward to reading this. Okay, next I have one more book, and then I have 3 book of the month. One of them I already took out of the box. 2 of them are going to be the little like mini unboxing. One of them I don't even remember what it is, so it'll be a surprise for both of us. Okay, this next book is absolutely 100% a cover buy, which again, I said at the beginning of this video, I don't necessarily care about like special editions or like beautiful books or anything. 100% cover buy on this one. And here's the funny thing about it is I actually bought this book assuming that I'm not really gonna like it, and it might be involved in a little bit of a vlog project like down the line whenever I decide to read it, because I'm actually pretty sure that I probably won't like this book for certain reasons that I'm not going to get into here. If I end up making that video, I will go more in depth in that video about that. But I don't really know that much about this book. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. If there is a more perfect book in the world, I don't know what it is or where it is. I have never seen it. I think this book is gorgeous. So complete cover buy, don't know anything about it except that it is a fantasy romance, romantasy, whatever you want to call it. And it is put out by the same people that put out Fourth Wing, Bloodguard, Red Tower books, and it is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I know Devney Perry is a contemporary romance author. I believe this is her first fantasy romance. Just look at this book. Look at it. Just look at it. There's a little bit of foiling, the sword, the crown, the edges. Are you focusing? I hope so. I just think this book is absolutely gorgeous. This is my perfect cover art. I'm in love with it. Again, I don't think I'm gonna like this book for reasons that I will discuss in another video, but it's just gorgeous. It's so pretty. So it says, "Fear the monsters we make," and then the back says, "Being the sparrow isn't an honor, it's a trap." And it says, "If you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong. Long ago, the gods unleashed monsters upon the 5 kingdoms of Kalandra to remind us that humans are insignificant, that we must pray to the gods for mercy throughout our fragile, fleeting lives. I didn't need a deity to remind me that I was powerless. Being a princess has never been more than a performance. 23 years of empty titles and hollow traditions. My sister revels in the spectacle, basking in the attention and flawlessly playing her part. I was never asked to be part of the charade. Until the day an infamous monster hunter sailed to our shores. The day a prince walked into my father's throne room and ruined my life. The day I married a stranger, signed a magical treaty in blood, and set off across the continent to the most treacherous kingdom in all the realm. That was the day I learned that not all myths are make-believe, that lies and legends are often the same, and that the only way to kill the monsters we fear is to become one." There's a little gold face, end papers, gorgeous. Don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. Absolutely the most beautiful book I've ever seen in my life. I don't even care if I hate it. If this is like the worst book I've ever read in my life, I think I'm gonna keep it on my shelves just because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it so much. So much. So next I have my 3 book of the month. I am officially 6 months deep into book of the month and I have not read a single book. So I don't know how long I'm gonna keep the subscription going, but for now I have 3. The first one was from March of 2025 and it is Our Infinite Fates. I don't know anything about this. I think it is a dual timeline story maybe? It says, "The invisible life of Addie LaRue meets This Is How You Lose a Time War in this fantastical and epic love story that defies death as 2 souls reincarnate through the centuries." So it's a reincarnation story, which are not necessarily my favorite, but it sounded intriguing enough that I was like, I'm not gonna skip. I'm just gonna get this one. It was kind of like, that was the feel, like, I don't want to use a skip. I'm just gonna get whatever. The cover's pretty, at least. I mean, it's got like the foiling on it. It says, "They loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes. They've killed each other in every one." I think that was the thing that got me, was the tagline. That sounds intriguing. Again, not a huge fan of like reincarnation and like reliving and that kind of thing, but we'll see. We will see. I have 2 boxes here. I think they're in order. I don't remember what my April pick was. I do remember what my May pick was because I just picked it. So let's see which one this is. Okay, so this is Yeah, they were in order. This is April. I'll hold your spot is what my bookmark says this month. Okay, so I got Passion Project by London Sperry. Yep, April. And again, I don't know anything about this. Bennett Taylor should be living the best years of her life, but she's failing miserably. Emphasis on miserable. Adrift in NYC, she has no direction and no energy to find one. When Bennett is set up on a first date with Henry Adams, she drunkenly confesses that she's not ready to love again. In fact, she doesn't feel passion for anything. Not pottery, not sports, nothing. Irresponsibly adventurous, Henry offers to help Bennett uncover her passion for life. Every Saturday, they'll try a new activity. As friends, of course. Okay, my battery died. I need to get a new one so that I can just like change it out, but I had to take a little break, get a little drink, let it charge for about 20 minutes. But now I'm really gonna have to hurry through this so that it doesn't die again. So anyway, where was I? Their passion project finds them sampling photography, tattooing, and even rappelling off of skyscrapers. But when secrets surface, Bennett finally has to face the grief that's holding her back. With tenderness and electric banter, Passion Project is a story of finding a spark and igniting happiness. So this one sounds interesting. Again, I feel like I've heard mixed things. I haven't heard a ton, but I feel like what I have heard has been a little bit mixed. But I figured I'd give it a try. And finally, we have my last book of the month. This is for May, and I am excited about this. So this was their kind of like special edition book of the month. It's a fantasy romance, I believe, and I had to pay an extra $2.99 for it because of the sprayed edges, I guess. But I'm very excited about this one. So let's open this one up. So it is Silver Elite by Danny Francis, and it's been pages since we met. Okay, so yeah, this was their like special edition book for the month. It has the sprayed edges. It says, "My name is Ren Darlington. I've been hiding who I am my entire life. Today will be no different." In the first book of a sizzling dystopian romance series, psychic gifts are a death sentence and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. Ren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her psychic abilities and aiding the rebel uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified means certain death, and Ren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy, and she is forced to join Silver Block, their most elite training program, she's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. Lie to everyone. But training for Silver Block can be deadly, especially when you're harboring dangerous secrets and living in close quarters with everyone who wants you dead. And whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. As the stakes grow ever higher, Ren must prove herself, but that's easier said than done when your commanding officer is a ruthless and infuriatingly irresistible cross-Redden who doesn't miss anything when it comes to her. And as war rages between mods like her and those who aim to destroy them, Ren must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect herself and how much of the continent is worth saving. So that synopsis gives me Red Rising meets The Bone Season meets, I don't know, Enemies to Lovers Romance. I'm excited for this. This sounds right up my alley. I don't know how people feel about it. I haven't heard anything about it yet, but I think the edition is very pretty. Not as pretty as Shield of Sparrows, but I think the edition is pretty. I really like the edge. Again, I'm not huge on like fancy editions, but I don't know. Consumerism has been getting me lately. I don't know. I've just been very into the pretty things, the shiny things, and I'm not normally like that. So I don't know what it is, but I'm very excited about this. Pretty book or not, the story sounds right up my alley. So these are the 9 books that I have purchased recently. Let me know if there are any that you want me to prioritize, anything you want to hear my thoughts on. Let me know if you've read any of them, how they are, especially Shield of Sparrows, Silver Elite, or Our Infinite Fates. I feel like those are the ones that I'm most interested in hearing people's opinions on. Again, my absolute favorite book is this one. It's just the most gorgeous thing. It wraps around all sides too, so this is just my favorite, it's the most beautiful book I've ever seen in my life. But let me know what your favorite edition of a book is. Like, what's the most beautiful edition of a book that you've ever seen? Then let me tell you in a response to your comment how you're wrong and it's actually this. Okay, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in my next one. Bye.